Episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're your hosts, Dan and Andy. Andy, how are you?
I am well. How about yourself?
Good. We're in season 4, episode number 27, and it is May 15th, 2023. We've got a sports edition today. We'll get the listeners all caught up with the sports
and stuff.
And, sports and stuff. It'll mainly be sports, but I'm gonna go here and find my deal to get the trivia question.
Yes.
I know we had a good one.
We forgot to cover that in the pre-show meeting.
Yes. It was. Do you know what it was? Here it is. I got it. Trivia is this. Now. All right. It's about your beloved Mets, Andy. The Mets.
Yeah.
The Mets are the second other team in Major League Baseball history to win 100 games or more in one season. And then the following season get shut out 7 or more times within the first 40 games of the season. So obviously they did that here in 2023.
Yes.
Mets won 100 plus games last year.
Thanks for the reminder. Yeah.
In the first 40 games this year, they've already been shut out more than 7 times, losing in shutout fashion.
Yes.
Now, this has only been done one other time before. And so at the end of the show, we'll tell the listeners, we'll give them the answer, but see if you can think for the listeners out there, what other team has this ever happened to? And then we'll answer this at the end of the show. And very interesting. Now, I have never, ever heard of this stat before, and you sent it to me, so obviously you know the answer.
So I'll be quiet.
We didn't want to bring up your beloved Mets, getting shut out 7 times and coming off a 100-win season the year before.
I'm just showing I'm a good fan. Even when they're doing bad, I'll mention them still. I just don't sing their praises.
Yeah.
They step on their junk. I'll mention that too,
It's good. It's good stuff. All right. I'll share your screen here.
Get my other page up there.
Because we got some good things, I think, coming on the episode tonight.
First of all, please like, share, subscribe. Here's how you can help us out on the show, doing different things to help out the podcast. Share a post, like a post.
I like it.
Tag a friend, comment something nice. Nice, I say. Come out with an emoji, post a pic, give us a shout out, leave a review. All those happy things. For those of you who have already done that, I say thank you.
Very well done.
We'll go right into Major League Baseball and hit the current standings. These were as of this morning, so the Mets' loss this afternoon is not reflected in this.
Okay.
There's the American League East. Tampa, Baltimore, Toronto. The Yankees have climbed out of last place.
Now, I've got a note here, Andy. I don't think you pulled this up, but, we're talking about how good the Orioles are.
Yep.
Guess which team has the number 1 team in all of AAA right now?
The Baltimore Orioles.
The Orioles. Are you kidding me? So when we say they spent a couple of years stacking up the roster, they meant it. Their big league are in second place. Their AAA team is in first place. I thought that was very interesting because you're going to be good for a while if those 2 sections are good. Go on. I'm sorry.
There's the Central. Twins who are playing the Dodgers this week, so that could very well be a 3-game losing streak there because the Dodgers are hot. But Guardians 3.5 out. Kitties, the Sox, and the Royals. The West. Are the Rangers for real, Dan? 10 games above? No, come on.
Well, they're going to be good as well, and I think Seager is down on a rehab assignment.
Yeah.
They've already got injuries to their 1 or 2 top starting pitchers, and they're still doing it. They're still playing.
Coaching this year, baby.
Wow.
There's the East. There's the Mets. They're in 4th place. Yes, the Phillies are ahead of the Mets. I'm okay, though. I'm good. All right. The Central, the Brewers, 1.5 lead over the Pirates. Are the Pirates for real? So we'll see how they turn out this year.
That's a good question there.
There's the West. Dodgers starting to pull away. The Diamondbacks, are they for reals? They're coming back, Giants kind of slumping after a good last couple of years. Padres spending a lot of money, and they're below 500. That kind of makes me feel good. But here we go, Dan. Through the last 40 games, last 4 years, these teams all won the pennant.
Yes, I did see this stat, and I told some friends because, the reason they use this, Andy, the 40 games is kind of you're at the 1 quarter wave.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So as long as you are in that 500 bucket, if you're around 500, even less,
way less like the Dodgers and Nationals,
way down, and you're still going to be in the hunt to win the pennant. I like that. I like it.
That's why I said with the Mets at 20 and 21, I'm okay. WNBA. We're going to be your WNBA leader here in Carver County. Season kicking off tonight for them. But just mark out June 11th on your calendar at Target Center. Monica Sato will be in town with the Sparks, baby.
Oh, really?
Yes. On a Sunday. So we'll see if the local press covers that, because I want to talk about this. This is even soapbox that I'm still talking about. That's how fired up I am today.
Okay.
This weekend in Toronto, the WNBA had a preseason game. The Lynx against Chicago Sky. Now, we hear a lot about how you should support the women's teams. Support pro women's sports, which we do on this show. We give them love. Okay, so WNBA is all excited. All the other networks, you got to support the women's sports. When I watched this game the other day, Dan, I found it on Bally Sports North 2. If it's supposed to be such an important thing to watch women's sports, why wasn't it on ESPN or Fox or ABC? This big game in Canada.
I think what you're getting at is you can't do it. Speak out of both sides of your mouth there. If you're going to promote it,
that's right.
You have to have it on the large broadcast networking station. You can't say, hey, we're going to promote this big time and then have it on Bally Sports North number 2 channel.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways. You're not going to be successful unless you're consistent. I get it.
Which is number 64 for those of you with Spectrum cable here. But yeah, so I thought, and they sold out their little stadium there in Toronto, 19,800. They ran out of merchandise at halftime. So,
oh my!
I think there's a need for in Canada, and this game could have been NBC or ABC or Fox or something, and no, did not find out any of those channels. They had to have like the beanbag tossing championships or pro fishing or something. I don't know.
Cornhole championships.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's our girl Brittany. She's playing again. Had some exhibition games. She's back. But here's a little thing. I'm trying not to get political, like I said.
Is this soapbox?
Nope. No, this isn't soapbox yet. This is how fired up I am today.
This is good.
There's Brittany Griner back from her stint in Russia there, where the drug issue and keeping her over there. She said here, hearing the national anthem, it definitely hit different, she said. It's like when you're in the Olympics and you're sitting there and you're about to get the gold on your neck and the flags are up. So now the same person who was, you might want to mute this a little bit, Pastor, same person who was bitching and complaining about the national anthem and what it stood for before is now feeling a little pride when she hears it. Well, I kind of want to see how all these other teams are going to represent now. Are they going to start kneeling during the national anthem anymore or not? Because now she's speaking up, saying how it hits differently. Are we going to see a little more respect for the national anthem?
Do you think, Andy, that this is actually a quote that she came up with and said herself, or is this illegal?
It was her. It was her quote
that kind of made it good and ties back to the Olympics. Putting on a good spin to the Olympics, which she.
I think it was from her. That wasn't from her press people that told her to say it, not from her heart. That's another story.
Gotcha.
These words didn't come out of her mouth, but I think the league is going to take a little different look on this whole kneeling for this national anthem all the time.
Yeah.
Because of this. So we'll see what happens. The Stanley Cup going on right now. we kind of have the Final Four. In fact, as we're recording this, with 7.5 minutes to go, Dallas is leading Seattle 1-0. So, besides that, they'll play Vancouver. And the other side, you got Florida, who was the last team to make the playoffs.
The lowest
wild Carolina Hurricanes. So we'll see that there.
But like you say, Andy, that could be the team to watch.
Yeah. You got to win what 4, 8, 16 games to be Stanley Cup champs. And you could still lose 12 of them. Go 16-12 and you're Stanley Cup champs. So
I think that's that Florida team is the team to watch.
they're hot.
It'll be good to see how they go up against the number 1 seed.
Yep. And now I love stats, Dan. So here I got some stats for you. Stats on here.
Is this 80s stats?
No, that's not even yet, Dan. I got so much new stuff here today. I had a busy weekend. The Twins won the 91 World Series. Since then, Twin Cities teams have made the playoffs 50 times between baseball, basketball, football, and hockey, and failed to reach the championship round every time.
Oh, my.
No other metro area in those 4 sports has had more than 30 straight playoff appearances without reaching the finals.
And we're over 50?
We're at 50, and no one else has gone more than 30.
Oh, a big drop-off there.
Oh.
The second-place team is even 30. We're 50. Now, that's a good stat. I don't like it, of course, but it's fair enough. Wow.
Dallas just went up 2-0, by the way, over Seattle.
The Kraken are Verlander.
Justin Verlander now has beat all 30 teams. His win the other day. He now has a win against all 30 teams. So congratulations, Mr. Verlander, on that feat.
Huge.
That was a cool stat, especially once interleague started. I think now that you play everybody all year, this stat's you're gonna really see a lot of guys adding their name to this stat. It's not gonna be that big a deal anymore. But he's there now, so congratulations to Mr. Verlander. Zach Greinke becomes the 5th pitcher in Major League history to strike out 1,000 different batters.
Different players. Wow.
Joins Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson, Maddox, and Roger Clemens. I don't have the logo for this, the screenshot for this, but the homework assignment. Find a more underrated player than Zach Greinke as a pitcher the last few years. I'm sorry. I've always liked him. He's just always kind of been a ho-hum. Here, I'll just strike out 1,000 different batters. No, totally under the radar. Fun guy to watch. Tail end of his career still if you get a chance to see him.
Now that also helps with the interleague play because you're getting all these additional new people.
Yeah. Again, this might be another stat that kind of gets blown out of the water in a few years.
Yes.
Kind of like, the one stat, okay, tangent. The one that I get a little bored of here is they keep comparing Ohtani. Oh, no one's done it since Babe Ruth did it. We haven't had a player that pitched and played outfield since Babe Ruth. So stop with the comparison. Okay. There, I'm done.
Anything, any record, anything he does, they're going to bring that up.
You can't help it. There he is, Kylie Jensen, 400 career saves. 7th pitcher ever to do that. So congrats to the young man there on longevity of his career.
That is huge to do. And in fact, he's not the best. He blew, I think, 2 saves in this week alone or something.
Yeah. And he's never had to do 50 save, 70 save year.
To get 400 is tremendous. It does not mean you're going to be an excellent pitcher every single time you go out there. And
traded a lot too. So kind of like Lee Smith, and he never stays with the team for long.
He was with the Twins for a coffee.
Yeah. Surprised the local channels didn't cover that. Now here's our stat of the week.
All right, I like it.
80s baseball stat of the week. It's kind of a big one. Tony Gwynn had a birthday last week. He was born in 1960. He would have been 63 years old. Now consider his career stats. He hit .394 in the strike shortened season in 94. Starting with his first full season, he recorded 19 consecutive 300 seasons.
Oh, man.
He batted .331 in 554 career plate appearances versus 18 Hall of Fame pitchers.
So he batted 331 versus Hall of Fame pitchers. Okay.
Yeah. 415 batting average with 107 plate appearances against Greg Maddux.
Oh my.
Which might be why Greg Maddux refers to him as Tony, Beep, and Gwynn all the time. So
yes.
He could go 0 for 1,100.
Okay, I'll stop.
Oh, wait. No, don't. I did not push you their little button on the computer. All right. He could go 0 for 1,183 career at-bats and still not go below 300.
Oh, man.
20 seasons, 434 strikeouts. That's 21.7 strikeouts a year. He struck out 21.7 times a year.
We got guys over that already for this season, I think.
Yeah, you hear that in a week for some player. A 302 batting average with 2 strikes on him.
Okay.
8 batting titles. 1 batting titles by 32 points, 30, 28, 22, and 17.
And now, for the listeners out there, typically the batting race will come down to typically your 10 points or less, or 5 points or less between the first and the second guy.
Yeah,
Here,
10 points, you got a lot of breathing room.
30 points, 28.
Yeah.
Wow.
He owns the Padres' all-time record for batting average, runs, hits, total bases, doubles, triples, RBIs, base on balls, and stolen bases, and games played. But don't say cool yet. His 590 career assists as a point guard at San Diego State are the most in school history, and his 221 assists in the 79-80 season are a school record.
So he was a point guard at San Diego State basketball.
Yep. And he had those assists. So he could have very well gone basketball too.
Wow.
And we would have lost out on the greatest.
That is the stat of the week, ladies and gentlemen.
Soapbox number 1.
All right.
Address your hate mail to Andy at Sports and Song.
I'm writing this down here.
Okay. In 2024 and 2025, college football is going to have their semifinals games on Thursday and Friday, so it doesn't interfere with the NFL playoffs on Saturday and Sunday. So you can have 5 straight days of baseball, Thursday through Monday.
Football. Okay, got it.
Now, here's my issue on this.
Okay.
College bowl games. You're going to have Middle Connecticut State against Northern Iowa playing in Phoenix, Arizona, and they're going to sell the stadium out, and it's going to be on ESPN, and they're going to have a 3-hour pregame show and everything else. But I think I have more people in my living room watching the USFL championship game than were at the USFL game. So why can't we give away tickets to these other leagues for football, but 2 5 and 6 college football teams get a 3-hour pregame? They're making a big deal about 5 days in a row of football because it's not college or NFL. No one cares.
So, but this is the college football playoff semifinals, right?
Still, they're readjusting their rules because of the NFL, and they're going to say, "Oh, look, we got 5 straight days of football." What married man is going to watch all 5 days of football?
Well, it's interesting. Not many.
He may be married on Wednesday when he starts, but come Monday.
Yeah. It's
pick and choose your games there,
It's
boy.
all about the television, the prime time television, because this is huge, big bucks. Wow.
Soapbox number 2.
Okay.
University of Georgia football team declines again to go to the White House after winning the national championship.
Oh, you know what? I read this. Okay, go on.
Okay, I don't care what your reasons are. This is a chance to go. I don't care who's in the White House. You get a chance to go there, you go. These cocky star players on there. Okay, maybe you're the walk-on backup punter. This from a town of 5 people, and this is going to be your big chance. Now he can't go because you all think it's some kind of issue. I'm not the biggest buying guy in the world either, but if they said, "Hey, Andy, come on down," he wants to give you a plaque and a T-shirt and cater your lunch. What time do you want me there?
Yeah, it's such a traditional thing to do this.
And now it's become traditional with Trump when some teams have boycotted that. Now they're boycotting this. And speaking of Georgia, who I used to like until this week, this Yutz, Stanton Bennett, played college football since 2017 at Georgia, and he still didn't graduate. There isn't much public information regarding his academic situation. He walked on to Georgia in 2017 and returned to UGA on a scholarship in 2019 after a JUCO stop, which is junior college. After guiding the Bulldogs to back-to-back national championships, he was selected by the Rams in the 4th round of the 23 draft. And he's expected to be the backup there. He didn't graduate. Okay, that'd be like, I'm in law school to my 3rd year, and I did really good on that last test. I'm not going to finish school. I want to go be a lawyer somewhere.
Yeah, it's
not saying you got to graduate to play in the NFL. I'm not saying that, but you know what? You were there for him and the guy from Tommy Boy are the only two I could think of that were in college that long and didn't graduate.
Oh my gosh! And it's not, at the Division I level, maybe not there at the JUCO, but they have the tutors and the tutors provided to the team to help you and assist you with your homework. Not to do it, although that's
another show for another day.
Another show for another day. But they're helping you out and assisting. And this is not even saying he's a bad student as far as the GPA.
Yeah, they don't have copies
of grades. Never got around to graduating, which is very interesting. And it may be the fact that I wonder if he selected a major or if he kept switching his majors
to keep his eligibility.
But typically what you see for people in college that long is that they get a 2nd or 3rd degree or they get a master's degree just to stay to keep eligible. This is interesting because he got nothing in all of those years. That is quite the feat.
Way to be. Another, which brings me to my 3rd.
Okay.
This clown, Ja Morant. Okay, I did not go to his Instagram to watch it because I'm not going to give this idiot the satisfaction. This is the 2nd time he's been suspended for going on his Instagram Live waving a gun around.
Yes.
Now, I don't mean to sound like the old white guy in the trailer house, but the cover of that book, I'm not drafting you. And now you have one incident waving a gun on there. Okay, now I'm really not drafting you. And they still give him another chance, and they still give him another chance after this. This is why I have zero respect for the NBA, zero respect for their fans and their fan base and their advertisers, because this is the type of people you want to publicize. These are the people you want to have your hero. Oh, but he's a good player. They'll still let him back. And that's another reason why I don't listen to Shannon Sharp anymore, because he's a fan of this clown. Oh, but it's everybody else's fault for liking his Instagram and making him do it. No. He's an idiot.
Now, is he going to go play in Europe?
If they'll have him. But, go play in Europe and start waving a gun on Instagram in another country. Ask Brittany how that worked out for her.
Oh, my gosh. And this, once again, is not we're not for or against gun rights, whatever.
No,
it has to do with it. But why are you on Instagram waving a gun around after you've already been warned once? Now you do it a 2nd time. This is an NFL. This is an NBA pro player that does this for a living.
Yep, who's supposed to be a role model and everything else. Yet,
so that is very. It's not coincidental. It's just how do you do that? Wow.
It's official. Dallas has beaten Seattle in hockey. So
the Kraken are done.
They're done. But it was a good run.
Boy, it was fun to watch those guys.
So it's going to be the Stars and the Vegas Knights. Now, I saw one post. Now, I didn't want to say anything earlier because I don't want to jinx my Kraken, but if you look at where teams started out from, it very well could be the Minnesota North Stars and the Hartford Whalers in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Now, that is a good stat.
If Carolina makes it, it could be the Hartford Whalers and the Minnesota North Stars in the Stanley Cup Finals. All right, one more thing here before we go. Kind of a sad note. Superstar Billy Graham, pro wrestler from our youth. Some of you might remember him. Eldridge Wayne Coleman's his name. He's right now on, as of this morning, on life support. He's been on life support for about for a while now. His wife is asked as of Monday morning, requesting prayers. The doctors want to take him off life support. She's saying no. He's got infections, organ failure, just lots of bad news for the superstar there. So I know a lot of us kind of grew up watching the superstar Billy Graham. He's been on some documentaries in the day about steroid use in wrestling and everything else. But life supports, look for the bad news about superstar coming down this week. Thoughts and prayers for him and the family. For the superstar Billy Graham. And that's all I got, sir.
We'll see here what the future holds with him. But like you said, a lot of sports here going on now.
I just want to backtrack. I'm not. Brittany's playing NBA again. Great, or WNBA playing basketball again. That's great. I just think what she did there was wrong, and she should have been in prison for what you did. This other basketball guy, he wants to go there and do that. Ask Brittany how it goes by not playing by their rules. Okay, that's what I mean. Yeah. You should give advice. She should be calling this guy up and go, dude, if you go, leave the guns at home. Just shut up and play basketball. Okay,
And the thing it comes down to once again is for you or I, Andy, this comes down to the bucket of it gets thrown into the bucket of just simple common sense things. You don't need to be bringing marijuana to Russia. You don't need to be waving around guns on an Instagram live post. These are just common sense things. You can certainly do it, but then when you complain about all the bad attention, it's going to come back to you anyway. What are you even thinking?
And like I said, I looked at the cover of the book on that guy. If you've seen my other videos we've done, I'm friends with a wrestler named Jason Ink who's got tattoos from the top of his head to his toes. So I'm not against tattoos, okay? But when you're waving them and you kind of have that, you want that thug look, you're trying to be the thug character that walks like a duck and talks like a duck.
Yeah. It's interesting. So few NBA or basketball players get to make it and get into the NBA draft, much less make an NBA team. And here you are,
suspended and maybe coming back, and here's some other guy busting his hump to make it,
throwing it away, if you will. It's just it does not a good role model. Now, the only two things I've got, Andy, is a little baseball and some football.
Yes.
Now, USFL football finished its 5th week. They're 5 weeks into the season. It's just a 10-week season. We'll hear about it more. Fox pushes this. Fox Sports, they do have their top, announcing play-by-play guys. It's really heavily pushed the USFL, and they're halfway done. 10-game season. 5 weeks are done. We'll be hearing only more about that. The XFL, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and whatnot, they finished up. They had the playoffs. They're not on the big TVs, not on the big channels. They are on TV, their games, but they also finished a 10-week season. Had the 2 rounds of playoffs. The championship was Saturday night. Now, I'm not going to ask if you watched the game, Andy, because I'm guessing most people that I talk to, most people on the show here that even listen, probably did not watch the championship Saturday night in the Alamo Dome. But you had a team that was 9-1, that was very good, the DC Defenders, going up against a team that finished second in their division. It's kind of like it's like the Florida NHL team.
Yeah, the wild card team.
Florida barely has a 500 record, a little bit over 500, and they got in. Now here they are in the conference finals. The Arlington Renegades, last year was Dallas, the Dallas Renegades. They're still in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Arlington area. They decided to rebrand it as Arlington. They were not doing well early in the season. They made a trade to get Luis Perez, who's their starting quarterback now. They made a trade. XFL, you think, no big deal. But this turned around this team, and they rattled off all these wins. They finished the season 4-6. 2 games below 500, but they got second place and made the playoffs. With Perez, now the team has got the motivation and everything is swinging their way, right? Everything's going right. They win in a big upset in the playoffs. They get to the finals, and they were an 8.5-point underdog. And they basically smoked them and won the XFL championship, bringing their record
to 6-6.
Just 6-6. They're hoisting the trophy for the XFL at a
They're
6.
dancing in the locker rooms.
Now the management, and I'm sure the office, the administration, the brass, if you will, of the XFL does not want that. They're already getting such a black eye with the XFL because people laugh. It's a laughing stock anyway. Now you have a team that wins. Granted, well done. Congratulations to Arlington for winning it. But you're 6-6. They did beat a team that was 9-1, but it was phenomenal. But the average person watching is not going to do the math and say, wow, it's because of that trade they did. They were really stinking. There were some injuries. There was a big trade. Now they did well. They were the hottest team the last month of the season, this Arlington team, even though they had a poor record. But it was fun to watch. Everything they did was right. They just beat DC every way, coaching, offense, defense, special teams. It was almost unreal to watch the DC team get as manhandled as they did after going 9-1. And so that season's over. That's done. They awarded the postseason. I don't even mention it on the social media, really, the postseason awards. They hand out their awards. Their season's now done. USFL we'll hear more about because that's more of a late spring season. Now for baseball, the Twins doing well. The minor leagues it's going to be interesting to see what happens here in AA. I think for the Twins, they've got this Brooks Lee playing there. Royce Lee is coming off a rehab assignment. He's down in AA, the former #1 pick for the Twins.
He got called up to the Saints this evening.
He did tonight. I saw something. I didn't know if it was real or not.
Yeah, he's got called up
a couple games for AA, and he's already moved up to AAA. So this is why when you get a star like this, Royce Lewis, who's been always a shortstop all his life, coming up, and they're getting him work at third base, and then you see this strange demotion of Jose Miranda getting sent out. People say, "Oh, he wasn't hitting." Well, no one was hitting. Miranda was leading the team in RBIs and was still hitting 220, and there's 5 or 6 guys hitting below him. So the demotion didn't make any sense.
But Correa batting 210, who's making millions still up there. Buxton's a $100 million DH, yet you send Miranda down. Okay.
And of all things, you move down Miranda, who is a power hitter, a rake, an RBI guy, great defense. I've always liked him. Was he going through a little bit of a slump? Maybe. But he spent all his time in the minors. He worked himself way up. There's nothing more to do, But they said they're going to send him down, maybe get his bat straight, build up his confidence. I think those are all just catchphrases for this. They need to make room for Royce Lewis. And so you're going to see Lewis spend a couple weeks, I think, at the Saints, and they're going to bring him up, I think, right away for the Twins. The Twins need a spark. Last couple of games against the Cubs, they've been the bats have finally come out, but they're still the very worst batting team average-wise as a team in the majors.
Let me ask you this now. Say Lewis catches fire in St. Paul, has a great 2-week period down there. Do you trade Correa?
Well,
and you look at how you're batting. You trade him and try to get another stick.
No, that's a very good point. But no, his average is way down. But I think when they went after him, I think Correa is long-term, good buddies with Buxton. He's probably going to be here for the 6 years.
Yeah, but the
question is,
teams turned him back.
You get Royce Lewis to come up, who's always been a shortstop, move him to third. Granted, maybe he'll be successful, maybe he won't. You'll have everything all set. Miranda's not going to find his way back probably onto the team because now you got Brooks Lee coming up a couple years later, who's the #1 pick from a couple years ago, who they're also trying to mold into third base. But it does create trade possibilities. Maybe Miranda gets traded to be an everyday third baseman. But what are you going to get? What are you going to get for him?
Yeah. But
and I don't see him trading Royce Lewis.
Yeah, the bad ankle.
We're going to have these issues. The Twins have now Trevor Larnach in the outfield. They've got Alex Kirilloff in the outfield. They got Joey Gallo in the outfield. They got Michael Taylor, Buxton,
Max.
You've got all this extra stuff. So I think what you'll see is some potential trade bait here coming up on the trade. But Twins are doing good. They're first place, but they're the only team over 500. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with how this all shakes out and who's going to be playing where, because I think Miranda was more of a maybe sending a message to him, but not so much as getting the Twins and the brass prepared, and the local roster prepared for him not being at third base. Now it creates this illusion of, no, we got this hole at third base. Well, Kyle Farmer's can play there anywhere in the infield himself, and we have him for the year, if not longer. So there may be some trades here going on. Now, the good thing is if they may end up trading a guy like a Brooks Lee, if Royce Lewis does pan out, if he's the real deal. Now, Brooks Lee is the real deal. You can really get something in return. So if the Twins need pitching, they've already kind of set on pitching. What else are they going to do? So this will be an interesting couple of weeks to follow.
Yeah, Jose Miranda, I'm a big Jose Miranda guy. Like him a lot. The one weakness the Twins have in pitching is middle relief. You can never have too much middle relief. Now, do you trade him just for middle reliever? Well, maybe a couple other double-A guys, get something for him. Get rid of Correa. Or move Correa to third. Move him to first. And give your rookie you're bringing up his natural position. Don't mess with this guy. That's what happened.
Now,
they get the
Correa,
rookie,
by having him to 6 years, I've heard this too, that maybe for the next 2 or 3 years, he will be at short. And as he gets long in the tooth, as more of a veteran, older, he will gradually end up sitting there and playing third base.
Yep.
Now, do you wreck that by bringing up Royce Lewis, who's a third baseman, one of the top the Twins organization has ever seen? Now, hey, let's have you play third base.
Yeah.
So it's a give and take, but it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have right now, but that's what they're dealing with. I think you'll see Royce Lewis fast tracked and bring up, because he's going to put seats, butts in the seats.
He's going to sell jerseys.
And he's going to sell jerseys. And it's interesting stuff. He's a good all-around 5-tool athlete guy coming off an ACL. So we'll see how it pans out, but I think it's good. I feel bad for Miranda. I'm a Miranda guy myself. I think he is the future, the corner of the hot spot here for the Twins for many years to come. Earned his way up. We worked his way up through the minors, and hasn't been messed around, except they tried using him at first a little bit last year, but that's it. So that's all I've got for the sports, but anything else?
No, not too much. Like I said, the Mets are still struggling. I didn't try to blow over them. They've just been losing. Just nothing major. No injuries, no reasons, just losing. Scherzer's keeping his cool. Verlander, of course, getting the wins. The Mets need middle relief like there's no tomorrow. They got decent starters. They brought Peterson up again, and he blew it. But they got all their eggs in their baskets with Scherzer and Verlander. So if they get a decent starter again and some middle relief, they'll be fine. The bats are okay. They're trying to hit 5-run home runs because they're behind by so much all the time, and they just got to learn to chip away. They keep those fundamentals.
I was looking at the Twins' batting average, and they're down there at the bottom. When I flipped it around to see who the best team was, it's the Tampa Bay Rays, best hitting team as a team as far as the average. Best pitching team as a staff is Tampa Bay. So people wonder, how come such a huge win, 30-plus wins? They're almost at 40 wins. No, they're mid-30s.
30 yeah.
Way high in the wins, very low losses. How can that be? Well, I think there's your answer there. They're hitting the snot out of the ball, and they're pitching. They're not giving up any runs. Now, you and I both know, Andy, that's not going to stay forever. You can't have the best team at the end of the season. That'll falter. It just depends on which one's going to drop off a little bit, because there's no way they're both going to stay the whole season at number one in both positions. So they have enough of a lead, though. It may not hurt them, but
yeah,
that's why when people ask, how are they that good? I don't know if they're that good. If there's any individual stars, no. It's the entire makeup. The entire pitching staff is good.
They are a true team.
And all the batters in the lineup defensively and hitting in the batting order are all good. But there's no one I can think of a name right now that jumps out at me.
Yeah, guy Randy.
Ariza Reno.
Yeah, he's good, but he's an all-star. But he's not. They're not making this plaque for the Hall of Fame anytime soon either.
Yeah, they've got no Mike Trout. There's no Ohtani. There's no Aaron Judge. Giancarlo Stanton. There's no big studs there, and so that's why they're that successful, and they're going to be tough to beat.
Yep.
All right, that's all I got for sports. We'll see you next week, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.